This week's podcast is brought to you by the Murray County Fair. It's fair time. Join us in Slayton August 12th through the 15th for food, fun, and entertainment. Wednesday, August 12th features the Z8 Youth Worship Band and Rhett Walker. Thursday, August 13th includes the Cowboy Mounted Shooting Show and Church of Cash. Friday, August 14th brings you the Johnny Home Band, and Saturday is the annual Prairie Days Parade. Don't miss the American Veterans Remembering the Fallen Traveling Tribute Wall Wednesday through Saturday. Add in inflatables, food, 4-H shows, and more. See murraycountyfair.com for the full schedule, and we'll see you in Slayton August 12th through the 15th.
Welcome to the 55th Headlight Hot Seat. My name is Per. I'll be your host today. And this week we are joined by Mr. Brad Pagel of Slayton. You live in Slayton, Brad?
Yes, I live in Slayton.
Okay, thank you for joining us today. Brad is a veteran, correct?
Correct.
What era did you serve, or what war?
I served 1987 to 1991, 5 months of the Desert Shield, Desert Storm era in 90 and 91 in that desert over there.
Mm-hmm.
And grew up in Garvin area, graduated from Ballatin in 1987. I know, they're part of the Tracy district now, but we had our own special thing going on back then in the 80s.
I know you did. I'm very aware of that, and a lot of people are, and it's kind of a shame that all these small schools kind of have had to close.
Yeah,
we're seeing it now in Milroy. They're consolidating with the Tracy district, but that was a special time for you, wasn't it, to have your own school in Ballatin?
Yes,
Looking
it
back
was.
now that you know there's no school there.
Nope, there's no school there anymore, but back then, it was always a rivalry between Ballatin and Tracy.
Yep.
Every time we played sports, even though we were in different classes, they still somehow figured out how to make games work.
And it wasn't a friendly rivalry either.
No, it was not.
Right. No.
It was not friendly either.
Did you have a rivalry on the other side to the west with Tyler or Russell or Ruthven? Or not as much?
I don't remember. I don't think it was quite as much as what it was with Tracy and Ballatin at the time.
Yep. Yeah, I played basketball against some Ballatin kids. There were some good kids. That was back in the day with, Damagala, Jason Evans.
Yep.
That
all
crew.
them kids. They're just a little bit younger than I am, but yeah, they were all. We had some good players back then.
Yes, you did. Very good players. Do you have a football team in Ballatin?
We did, but we were 9-man.
9-man.
Back then, because we didn't have enough of the student population to, or have enough kids to participate in the 11.
Well, 9-man is still a pretty big thing in Minnesota for sure. You are also the American Legion commander in Slayton, correct?
Yes, I am. Been doing that for 12 years. Got involved with that when Murray County when they were putting up the memorial for Murray County Veterans Memorial. I got involved with the Legion during the end of that time frame, and somehow I go to one meeting, check it out. The next meeting I pay my dues, and somehow the third meeting was election, and I've been commander ever since. I'm like, great. And how long ago did the train tracks leave Slayton, and the train still comes through every year?
That's typical Brad Pagel statement right there. So why the commitment to the Legion? Obviously, you just mentioned it's kind of your grandfathered in year after year, but what does it mean to you to be able to be a part of such a special group?
Well, it is with the Legion. We're one of the largest veterans organizations, along with the VFW and DAV, that fight for veterans' rights and benefits that we have today. Because way back when, in the 40s, the American Legion, a member of the American Legion wrote the GI Bill that Congress passed back in the 40s after World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't for the American Legion, they would not have the educational benefits that they have today as well.
What's your number in Slayton? How many people do you
We have 50 members down there. People always ask me, well, where's the Legion at? And I'm like, we don't have a building. You're looking at the person who's the face of it, pretty much, because they gave up the building several years ago. The biggest thing with our smaller Legion posts in the communities is they don't have buildings anymore. They're giving them up because of the expense to keep the lights and utilities on.
Right.
Because the younger members are not joining.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because I know when you mentioned the building, this one here in Tracy just closed. Now they're kind of doing their own thing in the new community center. That building is old, and like you said, it was expensive to heat and to cool and whatnot. Is the Legion, like other service clubs, having a lot of problems with membership because people age out, and maybe even if they stay, they're not active, they're not involved because of
Yeah.
their age? Do you
Yeah,
find that
a lot
around
of that,
center?
and some of them are like, we tell people you can be as active as you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's how I try and promote it. And, but yeah, like you said, a lot of them are aging out. They've done their time. They feel, a lot of our members are in their 70s and 80s, and some of them are still active to a point,
Mm-hmm.
but they're starting to age out, and we need the younger members to keep the organizations going at the same time.
Do you find it hard to recruit younger members? Because
Yes,
we
it
live in a
is.
different era now than back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just different.
what we do, it's hard to recruit the younger members because with their families, they're so busy doing everything
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, running here, running there. A lot of them are working. The parents are working 4 full-time jobs, just to make ends meet sometimes, and their kids are active in sports or whatever, and they're busy all summer long, all winter long, and we just got to figure out a way to get them involved and include their families too
Yeah,
at the
it's not,
same time.
even if, like you said, they're busy, even if they want to, they have a desire to, they just don't have the time.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
a lot of it.
it's tough to choose that over family. I mean, no one's going to begrudge someone from choosing their family or their kids.
Well, and that's the way the American Legion is. We always promote family first.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the real reason we're here today, not to talk about old ballot and memories from Brad's earlier days, but we're going to be talking about the Remembering Our Fallen Traveling Memorial. I did a story with you a while back. Was that last year already? Or was it earlier this year? I don't remember. Anyway,
That was earlier this year.
I digress. I
This
know.
spring, I think we did a
Okay.
little piece on
Yep.
it.
I did a little AI search. Now, I'm not a proponent of AI. I actually hate it. It scares the hell out of me.
Does me too?
Well, and all the teachers and school administrators, they're freaking out about, well, not freaking out, but they have to adjust what they do, and they have to look out for AI generated essays or whatever. But that's another story. My AI search said this, and I thought it was well stated. I'll give AI credit for this one. The Remembering Our Fallen Traveling Memorial is a moving photographic war memorial honoring U.S. service members who died in the global war on terror, 9/11 2001 through August 30th, 2021. It features 34 to 35 tribute towers displaying thousands of military and personal photos, including those lost in combat, training accidents, and to invisible wounds. I love the way that ends, invisible wounds. What does that mean, Brad?
The invisible wounds are what they've experienced in the combat roles. It's basically PTSD, and the ones that cannot handle their invisible wounds anymore usually take their own life and
Mm-hmm.
commit suicide. And there's banners that are different color that show the suicide ones during that time frame. There's out of this roughly 7,000 that we lost over the 20 years of Iraq and Afghanistan, there's 5,501 memorialized on this tribute coming to Slayton during
Mm-hmm.
the fair. And the uniqueness of this display is that the families are the ones that have submitted the pictures.
Okay.
The emotional side of this whole display is going to be you have a face to go with the name. And I believe the youngest is 18 and the oldest is somewhere around 69 or 70.
Wow.
And because and there's 102 alone from Minnesota on this display.
And there's some real local ones too, aren't
There's
there?
very local ones to the Tracy area. Jason Timmerman
Mm-hmm.
is on this display as well.
Yep.
When him and two of his other comrades from the Montevideo unit were killed in February of 2005 trying to help other ones that day. All three of them are on this display. Trevor Gold from Fulda, who could not fight his demons anymore, who committed suicide during that 20-year time frame, is also on the display as well. So it's very local to the Murray County area.
Yeah. And that's when it hits home. I mean, this is even if you're not tied with a relative of a veteran, a soldier who we've lost, it really hits home. What are you anticipating the crowd, the attendees of this event to take away from this? What do you want them to take away from this?
To remember what our cost of freedom has been since 9/11, because this year, in a short month, will be the 25th anniversary of 9/11 when the towers came down. And anyone that can remember knows exactly what they were doing that morning when all the national networks across the entire country broke in live, and everyone's seen that second plane hit live.
Yeah.
Because at first, nobody really believed it, like, oh, no big deal, and small plane. No,
Yep.
these were big planes. Two of them in the World Trade Centers, one in each tower, one at the Pentagon, and the fourth one was in Pennsylvania. They thought it was going towards D.C. to the Capitol or the White House.
I get chills just talking about this and listening to you because it brings back my memories when you say it was headed toward the White House or whatever. That is still to this day scary, isn't it?
It is.
Just to think about that.
And like my personal experience that day of 9/11, I was at my trailer house in Sioux Falls writing out checks to pay bills before I left on the truck with a load of meat for California. I had my back to the TV. I ripped through 3 checks with my pen as I turned around to the TV.
Really?
And like, whoa, this can't be real. And it was. Because every show out in New York broke in live over their recorded shows that they usually push out, during our central time frame. And like, whoa.
We all stopped. I mean, the world stopped.
It
didn't
did. It did. Because going to California that week in the truck, it was an eerie feeling because by noon that day, they had all the aircraft on the ground. There was no traffic out there. That's all we did the entire week. Everything was tuned in to what was going on and who did it. Now, a lot of us that had gotten out of the military were ready to go back in right then
Really?
and there. Because the way I feel with serving Desert Storm time frame, they would have let us finish that. They would have been scared instead of
Yeah.
doing what they did.
I don't even know if you call it a blessing in disguise or saving grace of 9/11. It brought our country together. And we are so politically polarized today. But during that time frame, that year, whether you're Republican or Democrat, you were an American.
Yeah.
That really
It
hit
did
home
not-
to me and still does today.
It did not matter because everybody came together. They put their differences aside for the country. And
Which is the way it should be.
it should be.
In a perfect world.
That's one of the reasons we're bringing this tribute in for the 250th of the country and 25 years since 9/11 is to get people to remember, because my opinion is a lot of this country has forgotten what happened on 9/11. Because one of the theme songs from 9/11 was Alan Jackson, who just recently retired. Where Were You? He wrote that song after the towers came down on 9/11. And that's a tough song to listen to at times because it brings back so many memories of that day.
It's an important song, though.
It is.
Not only is this, we need to be reminded of what happened 25 years ago, but we need to educate the youth, don't we? I mean, this younger generation, these grade schoolers, even seniors in high school, they weren't around.
No, a lot of them were not around.
Some don't even know, or maybe they heard about it, but it's almost a side note in history.
It is because a lot of it, from what I hear, they don't, in their books and stuff in school now, they don't have any of this in the books anymore. They don't teach them the history of the country anymore. The way the way that you and I grew up on. Because once you forget about history is when the country changes
And that's
on what we went through.
It's kind of like if we go back to our days when we were young, that would be equivalent to Pearl Harbor not being in a history book. Is that
Exactly.
fair to say?
Exactly. Yes, because 9/11 is our generation's version of Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the easiest way to look at it and put it into perspective.
Yeah.
That's our version of Pearl Harbor was 9/11 when the towers came down.
This is going to be a very, very solemn and emotional. I mean, the fair is a time to celebrate and have fun. I get that, but this specifically will be a little different. And it's when we say a wall, it's not really a wall, is it? Let's describe
No,
it a little bit for
it's
our
not.
listeners.
That's 30. These are actually tribute towers. They're 35 towers, 3 banners on a tower, and they're 10 foot tall. That will be spread out across our soccer fields in Slayton, which is across the road from the fairgrounds. On Tuesday, August 11, the escort to bring it in will leave Fulda at noon. We'll bring it into Slayton up Highway 59, 30, and then Broadway Avenue through downtown to the courthouse and then turn to the soccer fields. We'll set it up, and our opening ceremonies are that Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. And we're going to honor the families of the people who are on this tribute wall locally as well at the same time.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the second to the last stop for this traveling wall?
No, they are going. What's on their schedule next?
Because aren't they going back out east now after Slayton?
After they leave here, his next stop is Wisconsin and then Ohio. A bunch of stops in Ohio over the month of September. They got stuff booked out to the end of the year.
Oh, they do.
But the company that has it, Patriotic Productions out of Omaha, at the end of the year, they have decided to retire touring with this display as they felt it was appropriate after the 25th anniversary of 9/11.
Okay.
So this will be the last time you will be able to see our local service members memorialized in this way. And I was just at Farm Fest here this past week and had stuff set up there, and I had some vendors up there asking me, they knew people who had served and stuff, and they're like, "Do you have a list of the names?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." For Minnesota, the company sent me the list of names. Well, so and so on there. I'm like, "Let me look." And we come up, a couple of the vendors, seeing that the names were there of people that they knew were family members. They're going to be making a 5-hour road trip from where they live to come down to Slayton because they know this will be the last time that they will be able to see their family member memorialized in public on this way.
The retiring of it, are you on board with that? That seems strange to me that they would just, I get why they do it, but I'm kind of like, well, this is such a special, important.
What they're hoping is that a museum or another organization will be willing to pick it up from them, you know, purchase it from them or whatever, and hopefully put it on public display somewhere permanently is what they're hoping to do.
I hope so.
But they felt because all these were the ones that were killed after 9/11, over the 20 years Iraq and Afghanistan, they felt on the 25th anniversary it was appropriate to do so.
Yep.
On that aspect of
and
it.
I get that. I would hate to think it's going to be stored and gather mothballs. You know,
No,
I think it deserves
we
better
don't
than that.
we don't need that. And if anybody gets a hold of me, I can give them the contact information for down there if they're interested in seeing what the cost would be to permanently display it somewhere.
Let's talk about the footprint of this. I mean, you just said display it. How this you got a lot of space over there on those soccer fields. I know that.
Yes.
This is going to take up all of it, the
Well,
majority.
we'll spread it out a little bit so it's easier for people to walk through and a little more space outdoors. But if it goes indoors, it covers the size of a competition basketball court. So it covers the size of a gymnasium where you play basketball at. And when they set it up inside is the amount of space that it takes to give you a perspective of how large this display actually is.
Okay, so once again, the wall will be here on Tuesday, August 11th. That is the opening ceremonies at 7 o'clock in Slayton. And then there's going to be a closing ceremony after, or when the fair winds down, also at 7 o'clock on Saturday, August 15th, correct?
Yes, correct. And then we'll take it down on Sunday, August 16th. That's Sunday sometime during the day. And it'll be up 24 hours the whole time that it's set up.
Okay. What if it, God forbid, we get bad weather? Are these things sturdy? Can they withstand some wind?
Yep, because the bases, they get filled up with about 35 gallons of water to help hold the
okay.
bases up in place and stuff. So it should be okay pretty much because
Mm-hmm.
they have had it up in other storms where they've been able to keep
They
it
have.
up or whatever and
Okay.
stuff. So
Well, it's going to be a very special night, a very special addition to this year's Murray County Fair. And I'm looking forward to being there and doing my story on it. Okay, it's trivia time.
well,
You have
I got
anything
one
more?
more thing yet
Go ahead.
too.
We'll put off trivia. Brad's more important anyway.
There's one family that we're going to honor as well who is not part of the tribute. It's the only person that was killed in the Pentagon on 9/11 from Minnesota.
Okay.
And the family member is local to Murray County, grew up in Avoca.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't realize that. She spent 15 years working in civil service at the Pentagon, was killed on 9/11 when that plane hit the Pentagon.
That's
We're
news
going
to
to
me.
honor that family as well.
I'm so glad you said that because I didn't know that, and I can guarantee you a lot of people listening to this don't have a clue. Didn't know that either.
And so we're going to have a special wreath or whatever with the picture of her
Okay.
as well in there to honor that family as well
Okay. Very nice.
because of the 25th anniversary.
All right. It's gonna be a wonderful event for sure. Let's roll into some trivia, Brad.
Oh boy.
I know you're excited about this, and not all of my guests when I started trivia a while ago, their reaction is the same thing. Oh boy, they don't know what they're gonna get. But I promise you that these are gonna be somewhat simple. So here we go. Question number 1. These are random questions. What type of shark is responsible for the most attacks on humans? What type of shark is responsible for most attacks on humans?
The ones that live in the Gulf of Mexico.
Another typical Pagel answer. What species? What brand, so to speak?
Oh, great white.
Yep. Fun fact. This came along with this answer. The number of attacks is small. According to Florida Museum of Natural History, there have been 59 fatal great white shark attacks since 1580. The year 1580. Can you believe that? I hate sharks. They scare the hell out of me. But
Oh yeah, because if you ever watch the movie, the movies of Jaws, yeah, sharks will scare you big time.
Sharks and snakes, forget about it. All right, 1 for 1, Brad. Question number 2. What is the largest ocean on Earth? Now go back to your high school days.
High school days of geography.
Yep.
Yeah. Now you're gonna really make me think.
I'm going to give you a hint. It's a 50-50. It's either Pacific or Atlantic.
Yeah, if I remember it right, it's the Pacific.
You got it. 2 for 2. Bet 1,000. Number 3. Which planet is known as the red planet? Now you're astronomy, astrology, or whatever that is.
Oh, let's
stars
see.
and the
I
moons.
believe that's Mars, if I remember right,
You got it.
because that's the next planet in our system that we want to take human life to
Yeah.
at some point.
That's another podcast. I don't even understand all that. But not in our lifetime. I know that. 3 for 3. Batting 1,000 still. Question number 4. What is the most consumed beverage in the world that is not water?
Alcohol.
I was going to say it's not beer.
Darn it!
It's not Coors Light.
Oh,
The most consumed beverage in the world that is not water. Your perfect record is on the line, Brad.
that I have no idea because there's so many options out there. I'm gonna say soda
Soda?
or
No.
pop.
No. I'm going to have to go 3 for 4 on that one. Or 4 for 5. 3 for 4. It's tea.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's still water based.
That's true.
Every
Isn't
drink,
everything water-based?
every drink is water based in some form or another.
That's 100% true. All right, let's close out strong here, Brad. What is the deadliest mammal? Now you got to think about this one a little bit. The deadliest mammal.
The deadliest mammal would be a cow with her newborn calf.
Another Pagelism. That's funny, but it's not right.
That I do not know.
No guess?
No guess
It's
on
not
that.
a cow.
I'll admit to that. That one is, I have no idea.
This is a tough one. It's the hippo. Hippopotamus.
You know, now that you mention that, I do remember that because here a couple weeks ago on one of the radio stations, they had that as a trivia question.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
So you knew it, you just didn't have it in your...
Yeah, I didn't have it in my head on
Yep.
that because after you said hippo, yeah, now I remember a couple weeks ago, one of the local stations had that as a trivia question, and it took them a while to get that answer.
Well, 3 for 5 isn't that bad. We've had people get none right, and we've had people get 4 right. No one's got 5 right, I don't think. But 3 for 5 is not bad. Congratulations. And thank you, Brad. You are off the hot seat.
Well, thank you.
This week's podcast was brought to you by the Murray County Fair. It's fair time. Join us in Slayton August 12th through the 15th for food, fun, and entertainment. Wednesday, August 12th features the Z8 Youth Worship Band and Rhett Walker. Thursday, August 13th includes a cowboy-mounted shooting show and Church of Cash. Friday, August 14th brings you the Johnny Home Band, and Saturday is the annual Prairie Days Parade. Don't miss the American Veterans Remembering the Fallen traveling tribute wall Wednesday through Saturday. Add in inflatables, food, 4-H shows, and more. See murraycountyfair.com for the full schedule, and we'll see you in Slayton August 12th through the 15th.